episode 528 of 360 Wrestling Fanatic. Tonight going to be talking about AEW Dynamite, live from Louisville, Kentucky, which features MJF trying to find partners to be in the Trios match main event and the AEW International Championship on the line. Right here, right now, 360 Wrestling Fanatic. Well, hello, Wrestling Fanatics, and welcome to 360 Wrestling Fanatic, episode 528. It's Wednesday night, and you know what that means. It is time to talk about an all-new AEW Dynamite. First of all, I am Lance Brock, and hope everyone had a great Halloween yesterday. In case you missed it, unfortunately, I did not do a new episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic last night. So, on today's episode of Good Morning Wrestling Fans, I talked a little bit about NXT's Halloween Havoc. And made that kind of, I wouldn't say part 2 of the Halloween stuff, but talked about Halloween Havoc. And tonight, let's get into AEW Dynamite. On TBS, AEW Dynamite was live from Louisville, Kentucky at the KFC Yum Center. Our commentators tonight, Excalibur, Tony Schiavone, and Taz. In our opening match tonight, the AEW International Championship was on the line. Freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy taking on the Blackpool Combat Club's Claudio Castagnoli. Pretty good way to start off the show, I thought, this week. And it was Orange Cassidy retaining the AEW International Championship here, in case you missed it. I actually did dress up as Orange Cassidy for Halloween yesterday. There is a picture or a reel or a story or whatever it's called on my Instagram at 360 Wrestling Podcast. So if you want, you can go check that out. Orange Cassidy retains, defeating Claudio Castagnoli, and then post-match, he is attacked by another former international champion, and that is Jon Moxley, who Orange Cassidy actually defeated to become the 2-time AEW International Champion. And Moxley defeated him for that title as well. And we have the Mogul Embassy, Brian Cage and the Gates of Agony challenging for the Ring of Honor 6-man tag team championships, defending against the elite team of the Young Bucks, Matt Nick Jackson and Hangman Adam Page. And we see Swerve Strickland distract Hangman. Hangman goes chase after him in the back. The Young Bucks are down 2-3, and while this is going on, the Gates of Agony and Cage are able to get the win and become the Ring of Honor 6-man tag team champions once again. And we have tag team action. The Ocho, Chris Jericho, and Kenny Omega teaming up with former teammates of Jericho in the Jericho Appreciation Society. Daddy Magic, Matt Menard, and Cool Hand Angelo Parker with Jake Hager in their corner. Jericho and Omega get the win. And then after this match, in the back, we see the Young Bucks go to the Elite locker room. They're upset with Omega teaming with Jericho, but Omega tries to explain to him about this kind of is a enemy of my enemy is my friend kind of thing. But the Young Bucks aren't buying any of it. They're not happy with Jericho. And then they leave. Jericho's not too happy. He drops his water bottle, tells the Young Bucks to pick it up. And the AEW Women's World Championship is on the line. Hikaru Shida defending against Willow Nightingale. Really good women's match here. Shida gets the win. And then after the match, Willow Nightingale in the ring by herself. And we see the lights go out. And when they come back on, the House of Black's Julia Hart is in the ring. And then Sky Blue makes her way out. Has a face-off with Julia Hart. In case you remember, Julia Hart started showing, or Sky Blue started showing this new, darker, edgier kind of attitude after she was misted in the face by Julia Hart. And she said it is between her and Julia Hart. And at this point, she looked like she was actually going to end up turning on Willow Nightingale and joining Julia Hart. But instead, she spits some blue mist in the face of Julia Hart, thus not joining Julia Hart and still with Willow Nightingale. Julia Hart leaves the ring upset, and it looks like this could possibly be a match coming up at Full Gear, or maybe the 0 Hour. We will have to wait and see. And time for the main event of Dynamite this week. We saw MJF in the back looking for partners. He has a video chat with his partner in the tag team known as Better Than You, Baby. And then he's interrupted by Roderick Strong in the Kingdom. And pretty much his search is no good as he is looking for tag team partners here. And then he is approached once again by Max Caster and Anthony Bowens and Billy Gunn. Because still, Max Caster wants to be partners with MJF, or trios tag team partners, I should say, because he still wants to be part of the Acclaimed, of course, but he does want MJF to join forces with the Acclaimed as the trios tag team champions, or he wouldn't be one of the champions, but he wants to team with them. And then finally, MJF accepts what Max Caster has in the bag, and it's a Scissor Me t-shirt. And they take on Bullet Club Gold in this main event. MJF trying to get back the Triple B, the Big Burberry belt from Jay White, who still has possession of it. And Bullet Club Gold gets the win here. And still possession of the AEW World Championship is Switchblade Jay White. Pretty good main event. And that was tonight's AEW Dynamite on TBS. I thought it was a pretty good show this week. I don't know if it was, I would say it was the best Dynamite I've ever seen, but still pretty good show as we get closer to Full Gear on November 18th. And as it was announced, yesterday morning, I believe, on the Full Gear 0 Hour, MJF will be defending the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships against the Guns of Bullet Club Gold. And don't really have a whole lot of news, or just real quick, and that is about the original Bro, Matt Riddle. He will have his first match after being released from WWE, taking on Rob Van Dam for Big Time Wrestling. Big Time Wrestling's the Reunion 3 Cavalcade of Legends in Ohio. So, that right there, Matt Riddle versus Rob Van Dam, should be a pretty interesting match to see. Let me know who you think is going to go over in that match in the comment section, either Matt Riddle or Rob Van Dam. Either right here on Spreaker or YouTube or whichever podcast app or website you listen to on. And WWE NXT star Gigi Dolan and Impact Wrestling star Zachary Wentz of the Rascals have gotten engaged. And that is about all the news I have for this episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic. And hope everyone had a great day today. Hope everyone enjoyed AEW Dynamite. Thanks again for tuning in. And I hope to be back tomorrow night with a new episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic, talking about tomorrow's episodes of Impact Wrestling on Access TV and Ring of Honor on Honor Club. And we'll be back first tomorrow, though, with the Thursday episode of Good Morning Wrestling Fans. But until then, I am Lance, and I am a wrestling fanatic.